It has always been in my mind that in one way or one day I would have this different way of living. Finding the balance with nature. Because it's a passion, it's not a heavy work. It makes you happy doing even hard work. It was stored somewhere. The idea was stored, and when it came open, it just flowed. When I arrived at the mill, the purpose was really to make this self-sufficient life. I think the most important thing was that I couldn't accept anymore this unhealthy food, this over-consuming and globalization of food. What really bothers me very much is this use of pesticides and herbicides. We are basically killing our own habitat, our own ecosystem. I thought the only way to get out of that is a self-sufficient life. I arrived here at Moulin Scalagrand in 2017, and I started immediately renovating the buildings, and it was in a not very good shape, so a lot of work, and all trying to keep the old energy, the old shape of the buildings. In the garden there were some big wild trees, a lot of brambles and a lot of high grass and stuff, so it was quite a big job to clean it all. And the gardens are now growing. It's now 9 years, so the first fruits are coming, and the vegetables are feeding us and the guests. So yeah, it's getting the way I dreamed of. So that's quite nice. So here we are in the vegetable garden. I don't know if you ever heard about permaculture. Permaculture comes from permanent and agriculture. In the permaculture we have 3 ethics: people care, earth care and fair share. Then further on there are the 12 principles, and that's a lot. But the one who is the most important for me is the first one, and that is observe and interact. Every place is different, so everywhere nature responds differently. So just observe, give it time, and take the feedback from nature. And here we are in a little raised bed, what I call the mandala. And as you see, it is a spiral and it goes clockwise, and that's because the earth is turning that way, and in this way the plants capture the energy of the fact that we are turning. I can't explain really exactly what's happening, but I just tried and I observed, and I saw that actually the plants are huge. And all this we do without using pesticides and all natural remedies. And yeah, that's I think the way to create a really healthy and flourishing ecosystem. Here are the solar panels where I harvested my electricity in the summer. In the summer there's not enough water for my water mill. In the summer I have the solar panels, and in the winter I have my water turbine. So I am self-sufficient with my energy. Very important storing of energy is the food. So all my veggies in the summer I conserve, I make pickles, I make sauerkraut, kimchi, all this fermentation things. And storage of energy, also the water. I have the water from the roofs from the house who will go into my natural pool. I use that water to irrigate, but also to feed the animals. The biodiversity is increased enormously. There are insects I never heard about or saw. And there are my big friends, the frogs. Yeah, it's a little paradise in this area. So it started really as a dream for self-sufficiency, out of off the grid, out of the system. And you can't be 100% out of the system, so you need really to connect with people. Yeah, have to earn some money to pay the taxes, the stuff. It's shaped on the way. So doing it intuitively, I'm changing a bit the purpose of the mill. First years I just opened the B&B, and I found out that it didn't give me the energy I was searching for, and I found out that the inspiration I got and give to people is much more worth than just handling a B&B. We organize retreats, 5-day retreats, but also just 1-day workshops. Scalagrand offers a place of peace where to connect with Mother Nature and to find new energy in a different way of life. And that's what I found here, and I hope that other people can find too. What I really realized is when I started to do this, all the things came like a puzzle, and without any big effort, the things come on your way. Find your flow, find your energies, and then whatever you decide, it will come. I lived for 25 years in Italy. After 25 years, I went back to Holland for 10 years. And in those 10 years, it shaped my dream of a self-sufficient life. Where it is easier was France. There's more space, there are really a lot of watermills. I found this place, but it was quite big and far away, so I didn't put a lot of attention on it. And then I decided to walk the Camino de Compostela. And I started really nearby here in the south. So when I was traveling here, I thought, wow, why shouldn't I have a look? It was in French they say coup de cœur. So it took my heart. I did an offer, and then I started to walk the Camino. And arrived this phone call that they were interested to sell. So it had to be. The most challenging things is always when you have to cope with the system. So the laws, the rules. Then the most beautiful things, and gives me the most joy, is when you encounter these same-minded people. They find inspiration. They're happy to learn or to see how it can be different. And when I cook my food from the garden or from my food forest, I use my own stuff, or I buy it here at the local farmers, and they find it very tasty and amazing. And that's when you have these reactions and these feedbacks, that makes it all worth it. In one way or another, they find me, like you did. All the plants are overgrown in spring. You can see the herbs are really growing fast and overgrown the berries. So we need to free them. Let's give them a hand. One of the reaction I always get with everyone who's coming here is, this is so much work. And then I say, no, it's not work, it's passion. And when you do something with passion, I think it's not heavy, it's coming all by itself. It's bringing you energy, and don't work against your ideas, your dream, because then it becomes work. Jolene, she's eating. There we are. Where to start? I think you can start everywhere. Even if you are in an apartment in the city, little steps can open your path. On your balcony, a little pot with some herbs. I use a lot of the 5 R's from the permaculture. So if you have something what is broken, try to repair. If you can reuse it, reuse. If you can reduce, recycle. You can go to the market, also in a big city, where are organic farmers presenting their food. And if there is, in the season, there is much more, you buy it and you store it. Now, when I'm eating my sauerkraut or my potatoes or whatever I stored, it makes me feel so happy. So I say, yeah, I did it. The mindset to have to step in this life is, I think really the most important thing is don't see things in the way of money. You must see it in a way of energy. When I was working in Italy, I was doing my garden, I passed hours and hours. And then friends said, if you went to work, you would have earned much more money. It's not about money. It's about your food. You did it. If you start seeing it as energy, it will really open your mind and change your mindset and change everything. My dream is far beyond this mill. This is just where I started. I really dream of planting a seed of change far beyond the mill. So in people, in the world, in just planting a seed of change. That's what I'm trying to do here.